September 20th, 2024. Daily Bread. Passage. 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 1 to verse 18. Key verse 15. Title: King David did what was just and right. In the course of time, David defeated the Philistines and subdued them, and he took Metheg-Ammah from the control of the Philistines. David also defeated the Moabites. He made them lie down on the ground and measured them off with a length of cord. Every 2 lengths of them were put to death, and the 3rd length was allowed to live. So the Moabites became subject to David and brought him tribute. Moreover, David defeated Hadadezer, son of Rehob, king of Zobah, when he went to restore his monument at the Euphrates River. David captured 1,000 of his chariots, 7,000 charioteers, and 20,000 foot soldiers. He hamstrung all but 100 of the chariot horses. When the Arameans of Damascus came to help Hadadezer, king of Zobah, David struck down 22,000 of them. He put garrisons in the Aramean kingdom of Damascus, and the Arameans became subject to him and brought tribute. The Lord gave David victory wherever he went. David took the gold shields that belonged to the officers of Hadadezer and brought them to Jerusalem. From Tebah and Berothai, towns that belonged to Hadadezer, King David took a great quantity of bronze. When Tou, king of Hamath, heard that David had defeated the entire army of Hadadezer, he sent his son Joram to King David to greet him and congratulate him on his victory in battle over Hadadezer, who had been at war with Tou. Joram brought with him articles of silver, of gold, and of bronze. King David dedicated these articles to the Lord, as he had done with the silver and gold from all the nations he had subdued. Edom and Moab, the Ammonites and the Philistines, and Amalek, he also dedicated the plunder taken from Hadadezer, son of Rehob, king of Zobah. And David became famous after he returned from striking down 18,000 Edomites in the Valley of Salt. He put garrisons throughout Edom, and all the Edomites became subject to David. The Lord gave David victory wherever he went. David reigned over all Israel, doing what was just and right for all his people. Joab, son of Zeruiah, was over the army. Jehoshaphat, son of Ahilud, was recorder. Zadok, son of Ahitub, and Ahimelech, son of Abiathar, were priests. Seraiah was secretary. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was over the Kerethites and the Pelethites, and David's sons were priests. Daily Bread Message. This is the last battle against the Philistines, who plagued Israel prior to Samuel. Through Saul and into David's reign, David also repelled 5 other aggressors, such as the Moabites and a coalition army under Hadadezer of Zobah that included Arameans. This was the very purpose God had chosen him for. God blessed him with victory. From these enemies, David received a great deal of tribute, as well as recognition from other kings who gave him gifts. Saul had built a monument in honor of his victories, but David, from his youth and during his wilderness wanderings, came to trust in God alone in facing his enemies. So David dedicated all these gifts and tributes to the Lord. As we learn through the book of Judges, defeating the enemies is not enough. A ruler must learn to subject his people. King David actively did what was just and right for all his people. As a faithful and wise manager, David provided all needed resources, including administration and structure, so God's people may flourish. Jesus is doing the same for us today in the church, as we live in his kingdom. Prayer. Father, thank you for King Jesus, who defeated our enemies and whose reign is just and right. Help me obey him and thrive in his kingdom. One word: lead with justice and righteousness.